Hello, welcome to Moving Forward with Mike and Andre. My name is Andre.
And I'm Mike.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know me, I'm always doing good no matter what's going on. I always try to say I'm doing well no matter what's going on. So I always
that's a
hmm? Go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, hey, I'm here. As long as I'm here, I got a chance. Right?
Exactly. That's definitely
right.
the way it is. You know,
That's right.
as long as you're living, you can still go. You still can go at it. So,
Yeah.
um, so today we're going to be talking a little bit about how do you build mental toughness for
Keep going.
business.
Keep going. You're doing good. I'm just gonna grab something.
Okay, go ahead. And so basically, you know, if you think about it, we all have ups and downs, and especially in business, regardless of what your business is, you are going to run into hard times. So what is the best way to deal with that? I
Yeah.
remember go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say this is so appropriate because on YouTube, if you haven't watched my last YouTube video, I was talking about ways that Navy SEALs handle things, and they uh, they're like in the 1% of success. You know, it's hard to be a Navy SEAL. They want you to quit. They try to make you to quit, and they say hang in there no matter what. So it's very appropriate. And I wrote down like 6 things that I took away from a video that I watched. It was 3 Navy SEALs, and they were sharing what they did for success and what they do for success. So it's kind of appropriate, I think.
So do you have them right now?
I'm looking for them right now.
Okay.
I got my little trusty notebook, as you know. I'm old school.
Oh, very good, very good.
Down. Yeah.
You know, actually, there's this great. I forget the name of the speaker, but one of my students was telling me about it, and he came up with this thing. It's called the GTD sort of style or method, and it's basically like to get things done. And one of the things he always suggests is to keep a notebook, so that way you can stay focused on your task. And when you have an idea that's not directly concerning your main task, you write that idea in the notebook, and that way you can stay focused on the task at hand.
Yeah.
Basically,
so I got
basically a way
so
to
I
stay
got
focused.
Yeah. So I have this one like completely full. Now I'm starting another one, and I just scribble in it everything. So I started another one. Well, I started it before, but I'm completing it now. So yeah. Okay.
So Mike, what's one of your methods for handling like failure, I guess, or handling refusal in business? You know, because it happens. It's happened to all of us. It's going to happen to you again. Probably going to happen to me again in some form. But it usually happens to people. So what do you do to stay strong, to develop mental toughness?
Okay, so one of the things that one of these guys said is take the mindset of failure and flip it around. Okay, because really what failure is just showing you something that you can learn from. So what you have to do is you have to like look at and analyze what went wrong, and then say, how can I learn from this and how can I improve that? So failure, you flip it around instead of saying it's a failure, because you're really not a failure unless you stay in that mode, if you stay in the failure mode. But if you see failure as a growth opportunity to get better, you can flip that around and say, what can I learn from this? How can I analyze this? You know, and that's what Navy SEALs do, is they go back after a mission or whatever, and they say, well, where did we fail? How can we make this process better? What can we do? And as business, we should be doing that all the time. And that's how we can scale our businesses to get better.
Yeah, and I'll give a real world example of that.
Okay,
you
go
know,
ahead.
it's basically, you know, for example, I teach students, so I have a lot of private clients, and I meet new students all the time. And I remember I met this one new student, and usually the first time I meet a new student, I kind of give them a spiel about what I'm going to teach them in class and what we're going to be talking about. And sometimes I have students who it doesn't go well and they don't sign up for repeat business. So I just get paid once and I never see them again.
Right.
And then I have students who stay with me for a really long time. And so I try to do similar things, and I say, okay, this worked, this didn't work. Whatever doesn't work, I try to mold that into something that does work. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm being too stiff the first time I'm meeting these students, I need to be more loose and more flexible and not focus on making them fit into my routine, but adjusting to each individual. So that's one way that I've changed. You know, can you give me an example of something you've learned from one of your failed users?
So you remember I was telling you about the failure of, you know, I hit that wall when I was trying to take massive action in my business. And I didn't know this for a long time, that I would hit walls. Like I would complete one task and then I know I had other things to do, but I couldn't go beyond that mentally. So what I had to do that day is I had to look and analyze and say, what am I telling myself that I can't, you know, do another project? Why can't I start another project today? And I think a lot of it has to do with if you're tired too. You know, if you stayed up all night last night, you might get one thing done, but mentally you're fatigued. So we need to look at that. And that's one of the things I saw too, is that I was telling myself the wrong stuff, but I was also mentally fatigued because I was staying up late. And so I had to correct that action.
Yeah, and that is something too. You can definitely tire yourself out. And I think one thing you have to remember is, you know, when you do fail, it is not something that, you know, should be seen as the end all be all. It happens to a lot of people, and you can definitely do it again. And now one of the things that's happening is a lot of people are out of work. And this has hit home with me, like maybe about, I'll tell a personal story. It was about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I was teaching kids online, and I liked the job, but it was a really difficult job. Okay. I liked the job, but it was a really difficult job. And I had to wake up really, really early, and the schedule was hard to keep. And if you had any failures with your technology, so, you know, sometimes the Wi-Fi would go out and I would miss a class and I wasn't getting paid. And I wasn't really happy in that job. It was very stressful. And eventually I got let go of one of the companies. I still was teaching at one company, but another company, I had too many absences because basically the Wi-Fi went out and I wasn't able to log into class. And they're like, okay, you had 3 absences. That's it. You know, and I was super upset. I was like, oh, this is not fair. It's not really my fault. But I looked at it and I was like, I looked at it and I was, you know, and I looked at the failure and I was like, okay, the reason I lost this job is because internet was going out and the job had really strict regulation.
Right.
And so I saw that and I was like, well, I need a job that doesn't have those regulations, that if my internet goes out, I can still keep the job. And that's what I did. So now I'm teaching adults. If my internet goes out, I have my phone back up. I just call them and say, hey, my internet's out. Can we reschedule class? No problem. And now I'm a lot more fulfilled. I'm a lot happier. I'm actually making more money now, which is great. So this is like a classic example of a failure turning into something more successful.
That's great. That's great. So, so another thing we have to do is we have to learn to, if you're not already doing this, is not, for things that go wrong, you need to take ownership of what's going on. You need to take ownership. Okay.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
So what I mean is, you're like, if you're in business, you're like the manager. The manager may get blamed for everything that goes on, even though he might not have that much control over the individuals. I mean, he sets the standards and stuff, but who's going to get blamed first for everything that goes wrong is the manager, right? Because he's the man that's supposed to be managing things. So in business and in our lives, we're the manager of our lives, and we're also the manager of our business. And so we have to take ownership and take responsibility. The key word is responsibility. Be responsible for what goes on, because the buck really stopped with you as the business owner or in your life. It really, everything is hinged upon you. The commonality in life, and no matter what circumstances you move to or change to or what business you go to or whatever, the commonality is always you. So what really has to take happen is that you have to change and grow and take ownership for what happens, okay? You have to take ownership. You have to take responsibility. That way things can change, because you might depend on other people, but if other people are not taking ownership for your life, in what's going on in your life or what's going on in your business, then you need to take ownership. You need to say, how can I fix this? What can I do? And analyze things and go and take things. And how can I grow in this? And that kind of thing. You have to take ownership, you know. It's just the way to operate.
I think that's true. And another thing, so taking ownership, analyzing your failures, overcoming your barriers. I think another thing is teaching yourself or developing yourself into just being a stronger person. So,
yes,
you know, I think it's important to realize that, you know, so not just in terms of failure, because, you know, mental toughness isn't necessarily all about dealing with failure, but it could just be about dealing with people that you don't like at your job and how to handle, interact with other people, or dealing with clients you don't like, or things like that. And I think one way that I've learned to do that is when, you know, I told you I managed a nightclub for many years. I worked in the nightclub and bar industry for 21 years. And one of the things I've learned is that you can't let other people take control of your day, take control of your life. Now, I think this is really important with Facebook. You know, somebody will post something on Facebook and you will change your behavior. You know, you will start to type something that you weren't going to type before, or you'll start to say something that you weren't going to say before. So I think that's important to realize too, is that if somebody says something to you, don't let them alter your path. So if you were going straight for the day, if you had your plans and then somebody says something to you and your plans go left because of that, that is another person take control of your life. And that is showing that you are mentally vulnerable to them. You're not able to withstand their influence on your life. So you shouldn't, you know, if some random person on the internet or somebody at your job says something to you, you shouldn't just let that, you know, take you off of your path or make you move away from your goals that you had set for yourself.
Yeah. So one thing that came to mind just now is you have to, in order to be this mental tough person, you got to know the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And if that's important enough, if that is significant enough, more significant than just making money or something like that, it has to be something that that's bigger than you and bigger than, it has to be some goal that's bigger than everything, and it's the reason why you're doing something, because that'll keep you on. If it's big enough and more important to you, the reason why you're doing something, then people can't knock you off your base as easily. Circumstances can't knock you off your base as easily. But I think a lot of people start off is they have these cursory, kind of surfacey kind of, I think we talked about this before, cursory kind of reasons why they do what they do, and that's why they're so easily knocked off center of what they're trying to do, is because the reason was flimsy to start with. Why are you starting this? Because you see somebody else do it? Is that the reason why you're doing it? So when the thing get hard, you want to run and stop it and then start something else that's more comfortable. But if you have a big enough reason why you're doing what you're doing, and it's bigger than just making money, or bigger, maybe it's save the world or something. I don't know. I'm just saying this as an example. To save the world. I want to be rich because I want to save the world. Well, that's a big, grandiose goal that's bigger than, and it's hard, something to work for. So you get the key of what I'm trying to say. You got to have a big enough why to keep you in the fight when the fight gets tough.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that I'm going through a hard time, and you're going through a hard time, and everybody's going through a hard time because of the coronavirus. You know, I'm working right now, but no one really knows what's going to happen in the world. So I don't want to like say to myself, "Oh, I'm good." Like, you know, if the world is burning and everybody doesn't have a job and people are protesting, I'm not good. You know, I'm comfortable right now, but if there's people, and this is another way I like to think, is that if there's anybody who's suffering in the world, I'm not 100%. So what do you do? You know, we're in a rough time right now. You know, and I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I have really good days. Sometimes I have really bad days. Because, you know, I look around and I see what's happening and I'm just like, you know, so many people are out of work. You know, I was out of work 3 months ago. You know, who knows what's going to happen. So
right.
what do you do to stay positive in these low moments, you know, in these low moments that I think we're all having right now?
Okay, so I was going through that myself. You know, when this George Floyd thing happened, I was watching the news like 24/7 pretty much, staying up late, watching the news, and it was just becoming depressing. And I stopped doing my business. I stopped doing what I needed to do. And I just got really depressed and I couldn't figure out why. And then I just paid attention. Like we were saying before, you have to take ownership. And I started looking at my life and saying, what am I doing differently that I wasn't doing before when I had all this momentum and I was working and I was doing stuff and I was happier. And then I started seeing I'm staying up late. That's another thing, staying up late. We said that before. And then I was watching the news 24/7, all this depressing news 24/7. So what I had to do is I had to cut out the news and only watch just a little bit of it. And then I had to get some rest. I had to sleep. Those two things. And I'll tell you, I immediately, and I started reading the Word of God. That's my key. I get positive things when I read the Word of God, and you know. And so I did those things, and I got my energy back. I got back on track. I mean, it was a change, and it was significant to see that change just happen like that. Yeah.
Well, in your case, the Word of God,
Mm-hmm.
spirituality helped you out.
Yeah.
So what I do in these sort of situations
mm-hmm.
is I try to look at the people who are trying, and you know,
mm-hmm.
and when I look at people who are trying, and it makes me realize that, like, you know, everyone is trying right now, so we're all in this together.
Right.
And
right.
That's kind of what gets me through the low point. So whenever there ever is a time that I didn't have work,
mm-hmm.
or when I see people who don't have work, I just have to realize that, you know, everybody's doing the best that they can to get through this. And so I should stay positive, because me being negative, me being sad that someone's
mm-hmm.
out of work, not going to help that person find a job.
Right.
Me being positive, me doing this show with you, me trying to put out positive energy. And by positive energy, I mean, you know, putting out YouTube videos, or instead of posting negative. That's another thing that I liked
mm-hmm.
about your Facebook account. And whoever's watching this, you're probably following Michael on Facebook, but if you don't, follow him. Is that by consistently putting out positive messages,
mm-hmm.
it kind of gives it sort of a beacon, you know. And there was a point on Facebook where I was going to start putting out negative stuff. And I actually even made a negative
mm-hmm.
video. And I was like, I'm taking all this energy into negativity, and my Uncle Mike here, he's just doing positivity. And I looked at that positive stuff, and I looked at it with a very negative mind. I was like,
right.
You know, look at what's going on in the world. How does he have the gall to put out this positive stuff? But, you know, then I looked at it and I was like, you know what? And I remember I responded to one of your posts with kind of a negative thing, but you still stay positive. And I realized, you know, throwing negativity at negativity is only going to get you more negativity. So I might as well just be positive about it. So that's one of the things I did, you know, try to look at the people who are trying and try to stay positive and try to create more positivity. Because if everybody pushes positivity, it's going to result in more positivity. So, so how much time we got, Mike?
Let me just estimate here real fast. Let's see. I always like to see what time it is and then add up. So, okay, to be safe, it'll give us like a 4-minute window net underneath us. Let's say, 12 minutes? 12 minutes.
So we got 12 minutes?
Yeah, 12 minutes.
All right, I'll do 12-minute warning mark. So, Mike, you got any good news for today?
Well,
if you do, you can go and then I'll go.
Well, I wanted to say something I think that's key also, another thing. And this is what the Navy SEALs say too. And I'm going to kind of change it to get, toughness, a mental toughness, is to get around people that are supporting of you, a support group. What they'll do is I'm talking about people who will be like you with me, and I'm with you. You know, you gave me some pointers about my YouTube video. You noticed that how I have changed a little bit here. Some things that I tried to implement. So I think you need that positivity, and somebody that'll be honest and real with you. That's in a support group.
I definitely think that's true. And speaking of that, I'm going to introduce some good news here. So one of the good news things is the stimulus check. I watch a person on YouTube, and he always makes videos about stimulus check. But there is another stimulus check or payroll extension on the way. Mm-hmm. I don't know the details of it, but I do know that it's
coming. Will you get one?
So, yeah, I got the first first stimulus.
Great. That's good news, right? That is
Did you get it?
News. Yeah, the first one. Yeah. It was spent already, but yeah, I spent this one already too.
I managed to hold on to mine for a little bit, but
oh, okay. I tried, but I couldn't.
Yeah, you know, it's not meant to be hold on to. That's why they call it a stimulus.
Yeah.
Whole goal of the stimulus is to get the economy going. And, you know, my thing, they always have money for big business, but it's whenever it comes to the normal people, they always got to like, oh, we need to check, make sure we got enough for everybody.
Yeah, they'll give them like $50 million and give us, what, 1,200?
1,200, yeah. So I know the unemployment benefits are running out. And it's kind of a tricky thing because on one hand, they want people to go back to work and they want people to start schools. But on another hand, they need to give people money because people don't have money because they can't go to work. Well, what do you think about that? What is your positive spin? What positive news or positive light can you give to this situation with everybody being unemployed right now? How could you change that? You know, my positive thing is there is money coming. That, you know, what is your positive?
My positive spin on this, and I wrote this on Facebook also, is that now is the time that if you've been working a job, you hate that job, or you're in a situation that you hate, now is the time that you can give some serious thought because you don't have all these, you know, things where you got to go here, you can't go nowhere now. Now you're stuck in the house. Now you can give some serious thought to how can I change this? What do I want to really do with my life? How can I make it better? So once this situation, if I want to start a new job, start a new career, start a business, now I have the time to think about it and really pray and think and ponder and that kind of thing. So that's the positive spill to it, is that now things have stopped. So now you got time to think about what you really, really, really want to do and start implementing that now.
Yeah, this is very true. And that's all I do. All I do is think about what I really want. And I'll spin this back to mental toughness in that I think one way you can be mentally tough is by knowing that you kind of have a support group or you have kind of a backup. And one of the things I'm working on right now is developing. So right now I have my main stream of income, and then I have another stream of income. So my main stream of income is teaching. My other stream of income are teaching private students, but it's still kind of the same stream of income.
Right.
So I'm working on. I just moved into a new apartment.
Yeah, you told me. Congratulations.
So thank you. Actually, I just got some more plants too.
Some more plants? Yeah, I need to get some.
More plants. I need some furniture though.
My house is kind of made like a mess. I'll see my books up there. I do have more books than that.
I need more. The only book I got right now is
books as a prop, a background.
The Spanish book. Oh, it's a good prop. I like it.
Yeah.
You know, every time you get a book, you should just stack them up until you get like a whole bunch.
They are stacking up. Matter of fact, I'm behind in my reading.
In the area you live in, there is anybody who lives in, I think, Logan Square, Wicker Park, that area.
Yeah.
West Chicago. There's a newspaper box, but they just put books in them.
Really?
It's right by that statue. There's a couple of them. They just put books, so you can go and like give a book, take a book. So if you ever pass that up, you should go and just grab yourself.
I've never seen that. Yeah.
Actually, I have a question for you. Why don't you? Yeah, you might. I don't know if you can find it on Google. It's just kind of like a neighborhood thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But what is happening in Chicago in terms of newspapers? Do they still have like the Red Eye newspaper?
Yes, they don't have it in this. I haven't seen it in this neighborhood. I have seen it
Yeah.
in Lincoln Park area. Yeah.
Do you still take the train?
What time you got there? I can't see that.
Oh, we got 6 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So they still have the Red Eye. I don't know if you can remember when the Chicago Sun-Times was this thick. You remember it was
I remember that. Yeah.
Now it's like maybe 20 pages.
For the internet.
Yeah. It's like 20 pages. I can't believe how big it used to be on Sundays. It used to have all this advertisement. It used to be like that thick, and now it's like down to just a few pages. Yeah.
Can you imagine being a journalist, being like 65 years old or 50 years old, spent your whole life working to get to your level of success and prestige, and then in a period of 10 years, everything changing, and like the big thick newspapers, books going away. Everybody gets their news on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. So
that would take some mental toughness.
That's why you got to
deal with that.
Yeah, you have to stay relevant. Yeah, that's another thing. You can stay relevant. If you don't stay relevant, the world will just run you over. The technology
run you over and back up over you. I said run you over.
Yeah, so you got to stay relevant. So speaking on that, as you get older, your brain doesn't process like it normally does. Have you ever heard of focus factor? Now, I'm not pushing a product here. I'm not pushing a product, but I'm pushing something like focus factor. So you can go to the health food store, and there's vitamins and nutrition for your brain to keep it fresh, and so you can recall things. So I take that.
Yeah. And
you ever seen the movie called Limitless?
I haven't heard about it.
Where the guy takes
I haven't seen it. I've just heard about it.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. You should watch it. So they have pills sort of like Limitless. So they're amazing. You should just research and look into that. I think it's called Nootropics. Yeah.
And did you know that learning new things?
Yeah, I know that too.
Also,
I have a book about that. Yeah, I have a book. Yeah, here it is. Can you see this book?
No.
Okay, can you see it now?
No, I think it's too bright in your room.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. This book is called Brain Builders. All it is this guy tells you how you can build your IQ. You can, wherever you are at your IQ, you can increase it, because if the more you learn, like you said, it helps build, I think I'm saying the right word, synapses in the brain. So you can reform your brain. And so all this book is a book of vocabulary. So you can go through this book and learn vocabulary, and you can build your IQ. So,
that's good.
Yeah. It's called Brain Builders.
Have you learned any new words today?
No. No.
All right, I got a word for you.
Yeah, that's one book I need to get back into reading too. I got so many books. Yeah, I just found the book that I skimmed through it, and I got through it to get the main point of it. But I did, and then I picked it up again because of this class I was taking that I was telling you about. They were talking about the 80-20 rule. You ever heard of that? Paredes?
Yeah, definitely heard of the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. If you can just whittle down, the book, name of the book is called One Thing, and what it talks about is whittling down things to one thing, because you only need 20% of something to really for things to take off. 20% will give you 80% of the production that you need and the success. Yeah. So it's a very good book. I recommend it to anybody. I'm doing book recommendations. Should have an affiliate link somewhere. No, I'm just playing. Yeah.
No, you definitely should.
Yeah.
I still I signed up for Amazon, but then I realized that a lot of the things, I don't know if my audience will be doing it. I think
we're over the time.
Oh, we got 2 minutes.
No, we're not. We still got like 6 minutes.
Okay.
Well, really 2 minutes.
Okay. What we'll do is at the next time at the start of the show, we'll start the timer up right at the beginning, and we'll just have it going so that way we're good. So speaking of the tie, why did you decide to wear a tie for the video today?
Because I think the things that you talk about, you should represent. If it's something that's important to you, you should represent it. So we're talking about business. Business, you don't come in with a T-shirt and unless you're Bill Gates or a trillionaire or a billionaire, then you can do whatever you want. But until you get that way, people look at the outward trappings first, and people would turn us off without really hearing what we have to say if they don't see us dressed business-like. You know what I mean?
What was that you said though? You said look like what you represent, or represent what you.
Yeah, you need to be the image of what you're trying to represent. So we're representing business ideas and how to move your business forward. And business people, if they look at us, they're going to say, well, why would I watch this guy and he's in the T-shirt, he's unshaven, you know, that kind of thing. So that's why I'm kind of changing my style here.
Oh, you know what? And we're almost out of time, but I want to say that should reflect on social media as well. So
yeah,
for any of the people who are friends with Mike or anyone who's watching this video, clean your social media up. So if you are looking crazy in your social media, or if you got all sorts of wild videos, I have a cousin. Actually, you have a cousin. You have a nephew. I have a cousin who posts nothing but crazy stuff on his social media, telling him, you know, you can't do that sort of stuff, because even if your job doesn't see that, it's going to reflect in your personality. Yeah. Because your social media kind of reflects you. But maybe that could be a topic for another day.
Yeah, we should do that. That would be great. Yeah.
Okay, so
you can write that one down in our document.
Yeah, we'll definitely write it down. It was great talking to you.
Yeah. Huh?
So it was great talking to you.
Yeah, it was great talking to you too.
Make sure to stay healthy. Wash your hands, touch your face. Wash your hands, don't touch your face.
Yeah, and take showers too.
Of course, all the time.
Yes, yes.
All right, Mike. Okay. So I will see you. And once again, this has been Mike and Andre moving forward.
Yes. Okay. All right. Take care, Andre.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.